Hello everyone, and welcome to this week's Talking Stick Show. Hope everyone is good out there, relax, and let's get started. So I'd like to welcome the incredible hosts we have back with us. We have the great Maty Waller. Hello.
Hello everybody.
Nice to have you back, Maty, and nice for you to be on this journey with me as well, brother.
It's good to be back, mate.
And we have the incredible Nicole DiCroce. Hello, Nikki.
Hi, everyone.
Hello, good to see you. And we have the incredible tech master, David Ellis. Hello, David.
Hello, everyone. How are you?
Good to see you. And we have the Laura Two-Feathered Massey. Hello.
The technically challenged.
And the technically challenged.
Yeah.
And
you made it right at the last second. Talk about making it right at the last minute. That's
just
incredible.
coming in, she told David she was going to be on time.
She came in for her intro.
It's only take me half an hour. Okay.
And we would like to welcome the wonderful Amy Kruzek. Hello, Amy. Welcome to the show.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me.
Hello. Nice to see you, Amy. So let's begin. So today's topic, we'll be doing a live calling show as well. We're going to be discussing the shaman's journey. So lately, the shaman's path, and I've just felt inspired lately from my own journey and my own processing. A lot of us have been going through some different stuff at the moment, and just allowing this shaman's journey and this dedication to peace, this dedication to truth and being a great human is important, and for us to all keep going. So I'd like to bring Laura in first to talk about the shaman's journey and what that means to her.
Okay, thanks. We'd just like to introduce Maty Waller as well. Did we miss Maty out?
No, didn't miss me.
we got everyone.
We're missing Amy, though.
Okay.
No, I thought we didn't get
No, we
Nikki.
got Amy. I got everyone.
Who didn't we get, Maty?
Oh, mate, sorry, mate, just a brain fart moment. Maybe I wasn't
Maty
concentrating.
put in the chat
Sorry,
that,
guys.
Have you missed somebody?
Yeah.
So I assumed it was
I was
him.
just asking.
Let
No,
me
it wasn't
move
me.
Okay. Right, okay. What does the shaman's journey mean to me? It's now become my life. So it started off as an inner spark that needed to be fed, needed to be watered, needed to be nurtured. It's something that you feel you want to do. Sometimes you just don't know why in the beginning, and then you realise that you've got to step forward and take on doing the inner work to discover the authentic self. And when you're on that journey to the authentic self, it's not always an easy journey, but it's something that you really want to make this meaningful. You really want to step forward, and you're going to make changes to yourself. You're going to make changes to how you live your life. You're going to make inner and outer changes, but it means that you are living with the Earth's natural organic frequencies. And you're looking for natural organic evolution rather than working with the false light hologram on the earth. So for me, it's a step back into, it's not even back really, it's a step forward into the natural way of living, and yeah, bringing forward that authentic self to me is the most important thing. Uncovering the layers of conditioning, doing a constant inquiry into your own how you behave in life, how you are, your own standards, your own ethics, and so on. And yeah, sorry, I'm just a bit distracted with my technology at the moment. Can you hear me?
They're muted. Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, okay, all right.
You're muted, Dale.
I'm muted, Anna. There we go. Thank you, Laura.
It's all going wrong today.
I'm there like that. So, Maty, what does the shaman's journey mean to you, brother?
A shaman's journey. Well, I mean, it's a big subject for me, isn't it? It's to be the shaman is not just to be a single practitioner. It's not just taking one discipline. It's taking a whole host of disciplines and mastering them all and combining them. But the greatest part for me about shamanism, what I enjoy the most, is magic. And you know, we have Andrew's teachings, and that gives us an interesting start, because it's not really based in anything that's indigenous or anything. I mean, there are obviously elements of that there, but it's a new way of shamanism. And the things that he taught, I was able to practice wherever the hell I was, you know, with whatever I had around me. And so it's a new wave form of shamanism. And and just over the years that I've been doing it, and the ceremonies, the rituals, the different kinds of alchemy that I do, I'm amazed at how potent you can be anywhere. The kind of magic you can do, the kind of rituals you can make, the effect you can have in the unseen world, and making structures in the unseen world and coexisting there as well. The shaman exists between both worlds, doesn't it? And that part of it for me, that's my favourite part of it. Yeah. Absolutely, and it's the part that you can't really talk about with just anybody as well. That's the true gift of shamanism for me.
Beautiful, brother. And that's it. It's about learning and relearning it at all times, being responsible for yourself and continuing on, because sometimes life does get hard. Sometimes life throws shit at us, and it's important to keep to the foundations of spirituality, the importance of being in service to yourself, service to the peace, and just making sure we're here. This is why this show's set up, to spread the message of peace, to allow people to hear our own frequencies, come together, share a space of non-judgment, allow each and every voice to be heard, because that's the nature of the talking stick, is that everyone can be heard. The stick's passed to everyone and everyone has the chance to be heard. It's very important. So, David, what does the shaman's journey mean to you?
When I saw the topic, I was like, this is a very interesting topic. It's a very vague topic, but in my personal experience, the shaman's journey, it seems like something that you choose. My background is that I am part indigenous for the place where I come from. And when I was younger, they did everything to try to get me not to follow the path of certain ancestors. But when something is for you, nothing can stand against it. So I found no matter where I turned, spirituality was hitting me in my face. From the Indian lady who decided to give me sesame seed sweets to learn yoga, right? There was spirituality all around me. There was no way of escaping that influence. So when you talk about the shaman's journey, I think it's illusory in the sense that you could choose to be on it and you could choose to not. You could only choose to delay it. I think that's the problem. You can only delay it, and then you step onto the path and you realize, I got to make certain changes. And the learning process, if you are somebody who likes learning, then let me tell you, every day is a learning experience. This is not the kind of school that you graduate from. This is the kind of school that you go to the next class. So that's my experience.
There's never an ending, is there, David? Never an ending. It always goes on. And each time you get to a new level of awareness, you realise you're a novice in that level of awareness, and there are greater levels and greater levels, and it's never ending. Yeah.
Yes, it's a never-ending sea of I don't know stuff.
Yeah, and making mistakes.
Yeah.
Beautiful, David, and that's it. It's people are delaying living the natural way. People are delaying, not everyone, some people are delaying being a responsible human. Just being a responsible person, as easy as that. Being responsible for who you are, how you sound, not coming across where you're belittling people and so on. It's very important to stick to this code of love, stick to the code of truth. And Amy, I'm going to bring you in, and Nikki as well. So what does the shaman's journey look like for you?
Wow, I don't know what to add, but to everything I agree with. I just have to say that I probably always was a shaman. As a child, it started, with me playing outside and bringing home dead birds to give a proper burial to, like trying to catch butterflies, all the kids' things, playing in the tree, everything. But then I didn't understand what the word shaman, that was never used in our house. So I have to say that probably I was able to get into this shamanism through a metaphysical teacher that I had, who showed me opened up my perception of what the world is, because I feel like sometimes my world was a little tunnel vision. So I think shamanism, you guys, has just helped me open up my world so much. And it's just being with nature and, being able to be with community and fire ceremonies. Oh my goodness. Like, you guys opened me up to that. Like, that's just so beautiful to me now. And I never understood why, but now I understand.
Beautifully put, Amy, and that's so important, is community, and to find a community of peace, like all of us friends, part of the show, where we respect each other, we all really enjoy the spirituality, we all enjoy being human, being as grounded as we can at times. So it's about having fun with it. Thank you, Amy, well put. Nikki, what does the shaman's journey mean to you?
Well, the journey has been very organic and natural for me. I think I had to learn the processes of what I knew innately. I think what interests me the most is being able to see this world and the next, and then bringing in the natural laws um, that really complement all the elements, and learning through the processes of my entire life, just learning and then relearning and going back. But I think it's really important to have that ritual, to have that balancing and that grounding so you can do your spiritual work, whatever you call yourself, right? But it was always very natural and organic for me. Uh, Uniquely enough, in high school, I met a native friend, and she became my best friend. So I go out to Albuquerque, New Mexico quite often. I've been on the reservations. I've been gifted tools and knowledge that I hold very sacred. So the journey for me is lifelong, and I'm always going to be learning and teaching and learning. Yeah, so I'm really excited for the journey and what comes next.
Beautiful. Can I ask a question, Nikki? So with what you're doing, can you talk about the responsibility to the unseen world as well and the seen world, and how to make sure that's balanced? Because I think that's very important of the shaman's journey, is having the equal balance there and the groundedness.
Yeah, and that takes a lot of effort because you have to be able to ground your physical 3D meat suit. And then you have to establish relationship, and you have to understand the laws of the other worlds. So it takes a long time to ground yourself and be able to come back and forth in it, and to be able to maneuver on the other side and have the respect to be able to move through the other side and then bounce back. It took me a long time to be able to balance my energies, but now I have a pace to it. So it's just natural for me. But some days, like anybody else, I have a bad day and I'm like, no, I can't work today, or I'm too tired, or yesterday was overwhelming, or whatever. So yeah, it's a balancing act, and it's continually, you have to learn how to balance because new things come up and then you're like, oh, what's that? So I'm always learning. Mm-hmm.
Incredible, sister. And that's it. It's about listening to your body as well. A lot of people don't listen to the body and actually don't check in with how the body feels, what type of food it wants or what it needs. We're so busy working, we're so busy doing this, consuming, buying stuff. We sometimes forget to check in, and that's the nature of the shaman, is to be able to check in with your body, listen to your heart, ask your heart questions regularly, listen to things what you're avoiding as well. A lot of people are scared of their avoidance, and when someone shows them their avoidance, they get terrified it and run away, and they'll run away to the point where the universe throws it into the face even harder next time. And it's about dying all the time, making sure you have a shaman's death, as Andrew's incredible revocations, dying in every moment, being reborn in every moment. And we all go through the rites of passage of hardship in our lives. Things go wrong in our lives, things do happen, drama happens, drama unfolds, and it's going back to this common moral code of who we are. We are humans, we are red blood ancestors, and we share this message of peace again with these incredible guests and hosts we have on today. Does anybody want to add anything to that?
I'd like to add to. Oh, sorry, Laura. Go ahead.
No, Amy, please.
No, this just came to my mind, and just to put it out there is that it doesn't matter how old you are, because I started late in my life as this type of way of living. So I think that it's for everybody, at no matter what time, no matter what age you are. Like, it's just so touched by how fast things move for yourself when you really when you put the effort in, when you put the courage in, when you put all those things in together.
And Amy, do you want to tell the listeners about some of your adventures as well, and what's happening, some exciting news coming your way? And can I just say how honoured I am to have you on the show, and from knowing you not for only say a year now, I've just seen you grow on bounds and leaps in your own journey, and it's fucking inspiring to see. It really is.
Oh,
She didn't
thank
want to
you.
talk to me before because she was scared that I would do something. I don't. You remember that first show? You didn't talk to me.
I was afraid
I'm
of
glad
you.
we
And,
got out of that.
I was afraid of you and Andrew. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh my gosh! So you're giving me the opportunity. Well, I think I see Patty Lucia's name on here. So Patty and I are going to be starting a podcast. Yes. I kind of don't want to say what it's going to be because we're going to do a reveal. So just look out for it. And it's going to be connected to ancestors and grandmothers and modern day living and us, what we do as grandmothers. And so it's going to be kind of cool. Yeah. I mean, we're excited. We're excited.
And do you want to add any of your journey onto this, Amy, about what you've gone through to get here today and all of these opportunities which are arising for you? The universe is giving you. Here you go, look, here you go, Amy. Here you go. So what's it been like for your rites of passage from when you first started listening to Andrew's material, first started spirituality in itself to here you are today?
Well, wow, this is so, I'm getting chills. Sorry. But it's just so like I never said no to anything.
Yeah. Just so everybody knows, Amy's notorious for doing all the courses. So if you put a course out, Amy will do it. So the amount of work she's put in the last 3 or 4 years is phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal.
And it can be overwhelming.
Maximum effort.
As David will know, when I get a text, when I text him, like I can't, I'm overwhelmed. So, and Laura, I mean, you know, it's like, it's overwhelming, but you can see, you know what you're doing and you just do it no matter what. So yeah.
The thing is this, and I'm going to call you before you say anything else about your age and getting in late in life. This young lady has natural empathy going on for her, right? More so than I've seen in a very long time. So, Amy, you didn't just start just a while ago. You've been on that journey for a while. Even though it wasn't very formal, you have to make a difference, distinction between what is formal and what is not.
That's a good thing. Yes, that's true, David. The formal, a Catholic way. But I have to say that those rituals in the Catholic Church helped me with what I know now and I still use. So yeah, I got rid of the dogma, got rid of that, but I still stick with the rituals.
I see.
And that faith is always there.
You traded this transubstantiation for a fire ceremony?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Well, I still love the Sacred Heart. I mean, you know, I love the Sacred Heart, but with the fire and the heart, you know, but that's mine. That's mine now.
Good on.
Thank you, Dale. I wasn't
Thank you.
That, but...
Our hats are off to you, sister. Thank you. And let's bring Laura in. Laura, what's it been like for your rites of passage journey then, and to you where you are today, being a host, being on Andrew's show, and some of the incredible things and courses you're doing, the show you're doing each Sunday. How has it been for you and your process and rites of passage?
It's been wonderful. I'm smiling a lot at Amy. We've had this discussion where our journeys in some ways have been very similar, and we seem to be very similar.
Yeah.
I was also one who, just like Amy, invested a lot in my own self-education, spiritual education really, which I felt had been lacking earlier in life. Although when I look back, probably like everyone here, I realised that everything was set up for me right from being born at home. So for me, I was born out of the system, which was very unusual for a third child in 1960 to be born at home, and then the midwife telling my father to light a bonfire to burn the afterbirth, which how often does that happen? And just a series of things that have happened along the way which have given me my own roadmap into where I am now. And yeah, what has it done for me? It's like a continual communication with the unseen world, in a beautiful way, and then being able to manifest, as Maty alluded to earlier, almost like a magic, but obviously it's not a misused magic. And sometimes you don't even realize you're doing it, but once you do know that you have that ability, because you've earned that ability through your rites of passage to do that co-creation with the unseen world, then it is absolutely amazing what can be achieved. No, I'm not rolling in money. It's not about that. It's not about trying to get that gain, trying to get the lottery numbers. What it is about is trying to live in peace, unwrapping the layers where the fifth world of peace is hidden. It's here, but most of us, many of us, can't live in that frequency yet. It's about learning along the way so that you can contribute to, because you've gone through your rites of passage and you continue to do that, so you can contribute to the unseen world as well as this physical world, which is, I think, is what Nikki was alluding to as well. We're working in both. And once you do that, once you actually understand that there is an unseen world, first of all, because many people don't even believe in an unseen world, which to me is amazing, because co-creating with it just creates so many beautiful experiences for me. And I think it's there for everybody. You know, as I said earlier, tuning into the Earth's natural frequencies and getting away from all the distractions in life. And as Amy said, you know, going into nature and so on. So doing all those has made a huge difference to my life, where I've had the victories, I've made big changes, I've been able to find the courage to change my life considerably. And yeah, where I am now is an absolutely fabulous, I love it, a fabulous position with what we're doing with Two Feathers Medicine, with working with Dale with Talking Stick, obviously with Andrew, and then working more recently with UCM, with David and Nikki from UCM, and having Amy on board now. I see this spiritual community growing with people of integrity, and that absolutely delights me. We know everybody is not meant to be a shaman. It's not about that. But people are meant to live in peace. People are meant to be taught to access their heart. That's what it's about for me, and that's where yeah, my journey has led and is leading me. And I only see the future as being extremely exciting, working with everyone here and sort of pulling in and people being attracted to these frequencies, which for me are the fifth world of peace frequencies.
Oh, that was incredible. Thank you. And David, I'd like to bring you on. So for your rites of passage and your journey coming here today, is there anything you want to share, what you've gone through, and just some context to it?
Well, you're going to need more than 2 hours for that. So let me try to summarize that. For those of you who know, I went to Catholic school. Like Amy, I'm recovering from that experience. It's all about hell and damnation, let me tell you. And so, coming out of Catholic school, I wound up meeting somebody who changed my life. I think yoga was the first path that I stepped on. And it barreled on from there, because it creates a hunger inside of you when you see something different than the trap that you're in. Okay? So I remember the first time I meditated, as an example, and I realized, oh, there's so much more. That brief window where you realize that there's so much more creates something inside of you that does not ever turn off. I don't think it ever turns off. Right? Then you start exploring, and then you try to find new ways and new things. And so when Amy talks about investing in a spirituality, and then Laura talks about also investing in a spirituality, the paradigm shift that happens where money becomes less important than your development is an absolute major paradigm shift. Okay? Because then you start to grow and then you start to meet people. But I want to allude to something that Laura said. Without community, without meeting amazing people, people fall by the wayside, which is why we do these shows, you know, to let you know, hi, we're still out there, right? Because if it wasn't for people in my face saying, hi, spirituality is still calling you, and that's what we're doing here. Hi, guys. Everybody's watching the show. Spirituality is still calling you. So if you were thinking about quitting, this is your daily reminder, get back on track. So that's what happened to me. There were little markers along the way, but people pulled me back on track, right? The latest being Andrew, unfortunately, because I took a break from the spiritual community. I just wanted to be the corporate guy, you know, corporate mafia fixer. Right? Anyway, never mind. Right? I wanted to be the corporate guy, right? And then I ran into this irreverent man with a cigarette in his mouth, talking to me about spirituality, which is the last thing that I wanted to hear, right? And here I am. So let's do it for other people. Guys, if you are there and you're struggling in your practice your spirituality, this would be your reminder that you're supposed to be. You are more than whatever it is that you're doing, or the sum total of whatever it is that you're doing in this incarnation. So, yeah, that would be the irritating reminder.
Incredible, David. And thank you for coming on the show. You're an absolute genius, and you're a one of a kind. You really are, and it's inspiring to watch you. So thank you for sharing that. So Nikki, how has it been for you in your rites of passage as well?
I think I totally agree with everything Laura said. You know, it's that clarity that you have, that peace of mind that we're all looking for. It takes a lot of work, though. It's not just something that you stumble on and then you have it. No, you have to keep working at it. And as you level up, there's going to be new things that come up. And I never really worried about titles or what I was supposed to be called or anything on my journey. I'm just naturally me. So I would encourage everyone to figure out and really take a deep dive into their higher self and tap in and figure out what they're supposed to be doing here, because we all have gifts and we're all supposed to be here for a reason. There's reasons, and it's not just one purpose. There's multiple purposes. And joining communities like this of authentic people that all are from different walks of life, but we all pull together to help the collective. And that's what we're supposed to be doing. So I'm so excited to be here and just working with David and everyone else here. David has leveled me up. I was scared to do a lot of things. No, you pushed me through. So it takes somebody to just say, you're safe, you're okay, you can do this. So I'm very grateful to David and everyone else here, because it's just made me stronger and a clearer vessel to help my clients. Really. Mm-hmm.
Incredible. Thank you so much, Nikki, and great to have you on, and great to meet you and start to get to know you as well. So yes, Maty, where are we going from here, brother? Where are we going next? What's going on?
You caught me by surprise there, mate. I was just rolling up. Well, we have some guests backstage in Void Space, don't we?
Yes, we do. And what are we doing, Laura? What's the next part of the show?
I don't know. Where are they? In the lands of the forgotten?
Yes. So we're gonna do the next part of the show, which is a call-in show where we've got 3 people ready to come in, and we're gonna do some readings and counselling and so on to this. So firstly, I want to introduce and welcome our first. We'll have Judy in first. So hello, Judy.
Hi.
Welcome to the show.
Judy, you're surrounded by friends, literally.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, right in the middle.
Good. I feel it.
So do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and what made you want to come on today and experience this?
So I guess I kind of got forcefully pushed into my healing shaman journey. It was kind of like a survival. Just dealing with very, very intense trauma that I later learned was very connected to my past lives, and not knowing any kind of that information or knowledge is very scary and unsettling and depressing and sad. But I did a lot of mental clearing and mental healing, but I still had so much stuff in my body that really was a bigger mystery to me, because it's like I'm such a stubborn person that, okay, I'm okay, everything's fine. My body like is freaking out. I had no idea what was going on, even though I felt like I was getting better. So when you guys did the show last week and you were talking about the trauma still stuck in the body and all of that stuff, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is exactly the route I went down. And even when I like, for years and years when I was going through healing work, nobody ever told me to go get body work. And I mean, I guess I should probably tell you what I dealt with first, before going into that. But so 10 years ago, I'm 33 now. 10 years ago, when I was 23, I accidentally hit a guy on his bicycle and he passed. And I ended up doing 13 months in prison. And so after I got out, I think I had been out for 3 or 4 years before I had my session with Andrew. But even before that, like right before I went in, I had a massage, and she ended up being a Reiki master. And she like went to put her hands on me, and she was like, wait a second, like you've just been through something like insanely intense, like, and I just want you to know that I'm also a Reiki master, and I can see these things that are going on with you. And she started explaining to me about my relationship with the guy that I hit, and how we've had this karmic relationship where we kill each other in different lives. And that this life, Andrew, and then fast forward, when I had my session with Andrew, he went a little bit further into it, and he was explaining to me that if I had not hit and killed this man, I would have killed myself. So it was like a kill or be killed contract that I was working with. And so I think that having to really, or I think the timing was everything, because dealing with so much trauma, and then like on top of that, trying to like spiritually connect it, it was like I was dealing with guilt, shame, blame, you know, and like my whole thing was blown up. Like they had me on the TV, they had articles written about me, nasty comments written about me. Like there was so much negative stuff coming at me that I went straight into survival shock, you know, like doing what I could do. And then it took them 15 months to actually sentence me. So that was a whole 15 months where I didn't even know if I was going to prison, what was going on. But during that time too, I had a chance to sit down with the guy's mother multiple times. And her husband had been hit by someone and had died 10 years prior on his motorcycle. So she was going through this a second time. And she told me, she said, if in anything, she's like, I don't want you to ruin your life because of what's happened. She said, because the man that hit her husband, he like spiraled, he became an alcoholic, he left his family, like he just really, you know, and she was so worried that me being so young, that was going to happen. So she was a big force in the continuing on, because to me, that's like, I don't know, that it isn't an option to not keep going and to not be so thankful for that. Because a lot of people that go through what I went through, they don't get that. They don't get the forgiveness from the family. They don't get any type of that. It tends to be pretty nasty. So that in general, and it is one of those things where there's so much hurt, there's so much pain going on. why increase it? Like, and so, where was I at? So going through all that, like, and then actually being in prison where you're not supposed to touch. So I'm going in there already with this trauma, and then adding on all of that, and you're in survival mode, which Andrew said I went into gangster mode.
Yep. How did they treat you? How did they treat you in prison with the crime that you'd committed?
So the thing with it is, a lot of people they're like, don't tell people what you did, or if people tell you what they did, they're lying. They're not telling you the full truth of what they did and stuff like that. And I just never really played into any of the mind games. I was just kind of always like, yeah, this is what happened to me. And, and I think they appreciated it. I was actually in there with a lot of long-termers.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
me too.
And I became friends. I probably connected more with the long-termers because it was so nice for them to actually talk and see someone that was like, I'm getting my shit together.
Yeah, I think I was in prison the same time you was,
Oh, really?
I think I was probably about the same sort of time. And that, for me, it was the amount of trauma that you have to store on a day-to-day basis, but you get used to it, don't you? The violence was every day. It was every day. And it dumbed to a minor annoyance after a while, which is a strange thing. You just put parts of you away and put parts of you away. And that unpacking of that takes a long time.
It does. And I think the touch thing is what really got to me, because I let my mom come see me. I think I'd been in there for 9 months, and I let her come see me, and she went to grab my hand, and my body just, and it's much better now, but I can still feel it sometimes when somebody goes to touch my shoulder, or my body might not react, but I can feel it. I know it's there, but the difference now is I understand it. Before there wasn't that catch. There was more of just continued, out of control. But also, again, the body work. That was such a missing part, was the body work, because even before that, I never had any of that done. But yeah, and I also I didn't understand energetics. I didn't understand spirit. There was so much behind, so many tools that I could have, use, that I just didn't know about it. But I did start doing yoga while I was in prison.
Yeah. Sorry, Dale.
So when you connected to Andrew, what do you do for a schedule? Do you have any schedule for self-healing or anything like that? Is there anything going on for you for a schedule?
Yeah, well, I swap MFR sessions with this one lady, and I do float tanks, I do salt baths, and I meditate. I do lots of movement work, mobility work, and working with the fascia. It's funny because it's so good for me, because when I work on somebody, if I'm doing a MFR therapy session on somebody, the technique that I use is a long hold for 3 to 5 minutes. So you're sitting in a specific spot for that amount of time, and it releases the deeper fascia between the muscles, and you can even get down to the cells the longer you hold. And so that kind of work for me was amazing, because it's my nervous system. My nervous system was so messed up, and also my thymus. I remember Andrew telling me that I've my gangster wall behind my thymus.
I have questions.
Yes.
You're familiar with the mediastinum?
With who?
The mediastinum. That area behind your lungs, in the back, that's inside your body on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
That area that holds a lot of fear. So I'm going to ask you a few questions. Can I ask you a few questions?
Yes.
You know how I ask questions, right, Judy?
I love your questions.
Okay. First question. How do you feel about fear?
Oh, that was what got me in trouble in my 300 hour. Because
Oh,
my
yeah.
teacher asked me the same question, and I was like, I don't fear anything. And she was like, what do you mean? And I was like, I don't. And then she almost got like kind of upset with me a little bit.
Well, I'm not going to get upset. I'm just going to probe. How do you feel about fear?
I think that it used to control me a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I do not feel that fear. That there's a certain fear that I did have, and it's like that fear of annihilation is what it is, that you're constantly thinking that something's going to happen. That's what I was dealing with for a while. But it's this last 6 to 8 months, there was a big shift. Kind of like thinking that it's going to come in, but then doesn't come in, sort of stuff.
Judy, what are you afraid of now?
Oh, what am I afraid of now? Not being able to do all the things that I'm supposed to be doing.
What does that mean? That's very vague. What are you supposed to be doing? I'm going to go down that road. Oh, that road that we have to go down. Go ahead. What are you supposed to be doing, Judy? Let's hear it.
Well, I guess that's like my program answer. But I guess though too, like I've had a number of people telling me that just being here and telling my story and being present is one of the biggest things of why I'm here. So I do, that's me being in the present, and I think that's more of why I'm supposed to be here, actually.
And
Mm-hmm.
Were you afraid of being seen, Judy? Sorry, I'm asking Wesley. Sorry.
no, go ahead, David. Go ahead, man.
I used to be. It's the last 6 to 8 months. It was a lot. There's some different stuff going on. But I know what you're talking about because I have felt it for a very, very long time. And I think there's still some of that in there, but it's like the part of the domination and control is not there anymore. There's something not there anymore.
Ain't that the truth? Because
Yeah.
you're a little bit different now, aren't you?
I know. Like every 3 months, I'm like, I look like a different person.
Yeah, because you learn to push through it. One of the very interesting things about lessons like the one you went through is that there are different kinds of people. Some people need to be dropped into the deep end of the pool for them to swim. Some people, you could put your hand underneath them and teach them to swim, and some people need to be dropped in the deep end of the pool. So when you think to 22-year-old Judy, remember her?
Wild.
Yeah, well, but I'm guessing Judy was also full of fear as well, right? There's certain places that she won't go.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Look at you now.
It's crazy. It really is. It's
Yeah.
wild. Mm-hmm.
Look at you now. So I'm guessing that being in the deep end of the pool actually helped you quite a bit, right? So I'm going to let's move you past that point here. So you're here in the middle of a bunch of weird people. I'm calling you all weird people. All of you are weird people. You are in the middle of a bunch of weird people. I suppose you are trying to make a step somewhere. Am I correct? You're trying to make a step somewhere. What is the point? What is stopping you from making different kinds of steps of doing what you're supposed to be doing, which is what you said earlier?
Just doing it, like not thinking, too much thinking, overthinking. That's what always gets me, is the overthinking.
Well, my dear, you have certainly earned your street cred. And if you wanted to be a leader in this community, you absolutely, no one in this place will question that because you come a long friggin' way, right? So if anybody has any kind of intuitive hit as to what 22-year-old Judy was like as to who she is now, you guys can understand.
So
You are the Lion King. You could do anything. This is what I say. So,
I have that quote on my social media from the Lion King.
oh, I didn't know that, but you are the Lion King. You can do anything.
It's the you can run or you can learn from your past. Yeah.
So I would suggest that you make that step. Now you have a whole bunch of friends who could probably point you in the right direction.
Can I ask a question? So when you were younger, from the age of 6 to going into that puberty state, did you create a hardening in yourself where you kind of grew up a little bit too fast? Because as I'm picking up, age of 6 to 12, you created this hardness within you, and this hardness was repeated again, obviously, with the prison experience and so on. Could I just ask what it was like for you growing up, and what were your surroundings like in that area?
Yeah. So up until I was 6, it was just me and my older brother, and like we were outside all the time. We lived out in the woods outside of Asheville, North Carolina, and my baby brother was born when I was 6. I had big issues with that, and he was an awful baby. He cried all the time. It was just awful. That's probably why I don't have children, but and he knows it if he watches this. But my mother would tell me I would like come up with stuff and be crying at the end of the night because I just wanted her to come in my room because she's, full attention there. And then my parents opened a restaurant when I was 7. So it was a big shift. Yes.
Yeah. So as I'm picking up this, it would be important for you to go forward, and it's very, very important that you start doing inner child therapy, where you start going to that past 6-year-old and start giving the 6-year-old the childhood she was meant to have. And there's this hardening created within you, and at the moment this hardening has created a disimbalance in your base chakra. So as I'm looking into your spinal column itself, your base chakra is like on one side and the spine's on the other side, and it actually connects to the throat chakra as well. So craniosacral therapy would be really good, psychic surgery, someone who can actually realign your base back into where it's meant to be, realign the throat as well. And this is just karmic soup coming in through you at the moment. And so going back to that 6-year-old self in ceremony, month at a time, it's going to take a lot of effort, a lot of time for you. Make it sacred. Start speaking to that child. I'm here from the future. I love you. I'm giving you the childhood you never had. I'm opening this portal to you, and I'm getting rid of all this hardness energy from you. It's time to be a child again. And it would be very important for you to do inner child therapy once a week, where you become a child, where you have an hour or an hour and a half where you start saying, in this moment, I choose to be a child now because my childhood was not given to me, but now I'm allowing it to be part of me now. And just start chipping away at this rock of hardness within you. So as I'm looking into you straight away, it was like 6 to 12, there was a hardening stage where you grew up too fast. You were meant to be parent, you were meant to be looked after, but you were the one who looked after the baby and so on. And this is causing you so much issues in the present moment now. So it's about how can you connect to this moment of the now, to go back there, fix that person in the past. And as you fix a person from 6 to 12, it's then doing the inner work on going into prison, start haunting yourself as well when you did go in prison, because there was a lot of nasty ghost energies in the prison itself. So moving forward would just be going back there, being that's definitely the 6 to 12 and the prison area as well. So that if anybody wants to add anything to that, that's just what I read into.
Yeah, I just
Judy,
got the feeling.
I could add on. I'm sorry, Laura. Just real quick, Judy, if I could add on, it seems like that what they were describing, Andrew and Dale, there's like this white bubble around the base of your spine, right? And that was from that 6-year-old little girl, like, no, I don't want to raise this baby, that type of thing, right? But now that you've gone through all that trauma, now you can heal from it and then help others, because ultimately you're a teacher, Yeah, and you can help your students learn from what you went through, right? And that's another reason why you like to be outside, is because you can't be confined anymore. Not by walls, not by. That's why you teaching yoga outside is really resonating with you, because it just makes it more natural and organic for you. Grounding is going to be really important as you learn and heal and teach. Just keep grounding yourself physically, mentally, emotionally. Yeah, you have everything inside of you. You just have to pull it out. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Can I make a connection? Amy?
Yes, yes.
Amy, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
I'm going to put the Talking Stick Show logo on you in a minute.
Amy, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
So, there's some similarities between you and Judy here. And you have you're the empath here. Now, I'm sure you must be feeling some of that fear. Now, Judy, I'm going to ask you a question. You went into prison and your mom saw you after 9 months. What did she say to you?
She said, I think you're taller than me.
Yeah. Why do you think that was so awkward?
Because we had flipped roles. There, like, even before it, I felt like I was having to, like, hold her hand, kind of, with it. Like, I like having to be like, we're going through it, like, we're doing this, like, because she would kind of check out some. Oh, that's yeah. But our relationship after, it's funny because we used to fight all the time. We don't fight anymore. No, I used to constantly fight with her. We don't fight anymore. If we do, it's, stupid, silly stuff.
Amy, you have any advice for her repairing her relationship with her mother?
David.
I'm just throwing it out there, like if you were the child and if you were the mother, how would you flip that frequency?
If I was the child and she was the mother. Wow, I'm stuck. Darn it.
No, you're not stuck because you've done covered all your life. I am sure of that. So I know exactly that you.
Okay, I'm on the spot. I know I'm on the spot.
No, you're not on the spot, Amy. You're not. You're not on the spot.
Can you say it in a different way? In a different way, maybe I'm not hearing it.
Okay, so that little girl was hurting. What would be your advice for Judy? The little girl is hurting. The little girl is hurting.
Okay, and so this is her now. So this is what I do when the little girl's hurting, is that I bring her in and I talk to her and write. We have a conversation on paper. That's what I do. And we talk to each other about whatever it is you want to talk about. And writing to me has helped more than just sitting and talking, because it grounds it in me and I can then read it back, because I do go, it is just naturally comes out. It doesn't, I'm not even thinking about anything. It just writes. And then she says something and then I say something. And that's how I comfort her. As a,
yeah. That's good. Yeah. I like
that. Okay, you got me good. Thank you.
Incredible, Amy. There you go.
But I get it. I got it there. Thank you for rewording it.
I really think, Judy, that Dale's suggestion about the healing the inner child might help you quite a bit. And the reason why I say that is because life has a kind of domino effect. When you look at certain events, major events in your life, such as what happened in that accident, a lot of things came into play just from that issue. That was one of the points in time when your mother had to become hyper focused on your existence. That would be number one.
Mm.
You had to be hyper focused on your existence as well. That'll be number two. No distractions. You had to be focused on you. That 15-month time that you spent there in fear, wondering what was going to happen in terms of your fate and so on, a lot of growth was done in that time, although it was done in fear. Facing the consequence and coming out of it, on the other side of it, helped you to see that whatever consequence that there was, you have to go through it and you grow through it. Because, Judy, things could have gone way worse than they have gone right now. You discovered Hatha Yoga in prison. Look at what you've made out of it now. I have something to tell you, okay? And I want you to take it in the best way. When you're at rock bottom, the only way is up.
Mm-hmm.
And you discovered that really well. Right? Yeah. And that is the point. So the only way is up. In terms of any barriers that you have now, my suggestion would be for you to remember the lesson, right? That the only way you can go is up at this point. There's no other way. There's no other path left for you. It's up from here. Okay? And yeah, life is going to throw you some challenges, but nothing near to the shit you've been through, my dear. Nothing near to the shit you've been through. Life would have to come really, really, really good to put you down into that kind of position. So my suggestion to you, heal that inner child and step forward, because yeah, we appreciate the fact that you are that strong. You didn't think you were, did you?
Oh, not at all. Not like, yeah. Thank you, David. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
You're amazing.
Could I ask? Sorry, Laura, go ahead.
I was just going to say how amazing and what a tremendous amount of work you've done. And just in some ways, it felt to me like you suddenly had to grow up. You grew up very quickly at one stage, and there's things that have been missing for you. And I think it will be great, as well as to part of the work of healing the inner child and going back is to play. So I don't know how much you play or have fun or just do some real, silly things and go out and climb trees or whatever it is you feel that there was a gap there, to try and fill that in a bit now with some of the things I felt that you might have missed after you were 6.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's where journaling has helped me out so much, because it does get to that point sometimes where you're like, have I made any progress? Like, like just before the show, I actually went back and was reading the past year because I had such an amazing year. And yeah, it's really cool because you realize how much you've gone through.
Yeah. Can I add something, Judy?
Mm-hmm.
For me, what helps me is when you bring her forward is, because touch is hard for you, is to really see her and stroke her hair and touch her nose and just stroke her body and just do these little things as like a mother would do with a child. And even if you have to look at the picture of you at 6 years old, even looking in that picture, you go way, like your mind, your eyes just go way deep in her, and that's what helps me bring her forward. Mm-hmm. And just to be able to just stroke her and touch her and just tell her how much you love her and that we're okay.
Beautiful, Amy. And can I ask a question? Do you feel lonely a lot?
Me?
Yes.
I think I dealt with that more so well, that's the thing is, like, again, it's like the last 6 to 8 months I've been living in a very different world. And so, but before that, yes. Yeah. And that's, I think, kind of, it's the ultimate ego kill too, where, because that's still part of your ego. Yeah. It was kind of I had to surrender that part, I think.
And that's it. And picking up a loneliness of your spirit, and past life regression would be very important for you specifically to go into the lifetimes when you were lonely. There are a lot of lifetimes where you have led loneliness, and there's this bleed through of loneliness happening within you. So as well as going back and doing that age 6 to 12 and refortifying that childhood, it'd be very important that you get the past life regression as well, with the focus of the past life regression going into the loneliness and any lifetimes connected to that. Because I think you're going to unravel a lot once you start looking at these lonely lifetimes you've had before. And it's going to create a healing journey within you, because you've got so much great potential. You're a spiritual warrior. Look where you are today here on the show. Not many people would go through experiences like you've gone through and be here today.
Yep. Agreed. Why am I in the middle?
We have Andrew popped in wherever he is. Andrew, are you here? Maybe not. Sorry, go ahead, David.
No, that's like, why am I in the middle? No, Judy, this is really good to see you here. I mean, we did have a call at some point in time, but it's nice to see you.
Mm-hmm. It's funny because the day before, I listened to you guys, the trauma show, like a couple minutes of it. And then I had this thought. I was like, I could be a really cool client case for them, like with what you guys were talking about. And I was like, I'm probably, I was like, I might just reach out to them. Like, I could see myself reaching out. And then the next morning I was listening to the show again. And within like 15 minutes, I was on the phone messaging Maty and Laura. And so yeah, I did it. I did this to myself, most definitely.
Good.
Yeah.
Very good. I really appreciate it, and especially your path is similar to mine with the yoga. It really did. It really does make a difference when you get onto the path. A lot of people think that hatha yoga, or yoga generally, is metaphysics like, but it really isn't. There is a lot of benefit, especially it makes you aware of what is going on physically and mentally, because you can't solve a problem if you don't know you have one.
Yes. Mm-hmm. That's where I realized like my eye contact had gotten really bad, trying to talk to people, and the other kind of like checking out in the middle of talking to someone and stuff. That's like the last 6 to 8 months, I could really feel a lot of that shifting, like just connecting with people different than even before the accident. So I'm thinking almost like going back to that 12-year-old place. I think that's kind of been pushing in a bit. That makes sense.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yes. Yeah, I can hear you okay now, Andrew.
So what you were just talking about before is giving a description of how when we find ourselves losing touch with just the basic us and becoming more and more hermit, you're accepting more of your hermit's card, and you're losing those specific social skills that if you don't practice, you forget, especially the intimacy social skills that are just lost when you aren't able to use them on a regular basis. And we're not just talking about penetration or that. We're talking how normal people act around each other when they're not the center of their own world all the time. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
We can hear you.
All right. Go ahead.
And so your social life, what is your social life like, Judy, at the moment?
I would say, again, I feel like more so in like the last 6 months, I have been making more time to spend time with friends. I don't go out really at all anymore. I work at my parents' restaurant Friday and Saturday, and that's plenty of people. But I have been doing a lot more of my MFR stuff, so there's been a lot more one-on-one with people. But I don't know. I feel like I was way more social 10 years ago, and not.
Because you were. Because you were. As we get older and our circle of friends gets smaller, which is only natural, we look for the quality people. When we end up not having those quality people, we try to recreate those qualities within ourselves. The television shows that we watch, or the conversations that we choose to have that we can never have. We can only do it so far than a very limited band spectrum of people that you can communicate with. Part of that journey of becoming a healer is opening up to that smaller band of people, but it's also opening up to the bigger band of people, which is how to have a bedside manner. Something that David should know all about, how to explain from a psychotherapist point of view of like what's good psychotherapy versus what's sloppy psychotherapy. And like I said, in your situation, you're going through such a fast growth and a fast healing. The Hermit's card is natural for you, but you just got to remind yourself when you were younger, you didn't have a childhood. Now that you're older, you have to make child time for you sacred.
There are
So
other
it means
elements.
more.
Yeah, there are other elements of this because I think your rapid growth is distancing you away from your friends as well.
Yep.
Theoretically, because here's the problem. If you have been practicing for as long as you've been practicing, which appears to be a long time, longer than what you have stated in physical years, if you've been practicing as long as you've been practicing, then there's some programs that you're not going to be able to tolerate anymore from your friends. You know exactly what I'm talking about, right, Judy?
Uh-huh.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Especially
I have a friend.
when-
I have a friend named Charles that's just like that. Every time I'm around, I'm like, I hate this guy. But I've known him since I was like 15. Okay, and he knows he rubs me the wrong way. He absolutely knows it. He has machine gun game everywhere we go. He's hitting on anything with 2 holes and a heartbeat, and it's just like, dude, you're 47 now. Stop. Okay, and he won't ever stop. But he's great entertainment when I just let myself take the stick out of my ass, that serious stick. I'm like, okay, that's his thing. I'm not gonna go do it, but it's still funny to watch him fail. Okay.
Yeah.
14 times in a night. Yeah, 14 times in a night.
For real?
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah, then he'll score and he'll show it all off to us and like, haha, I got it, you didn't. Like, we weren't looking.
Yeah, but for Judy, there's a few programs that she's not going to want to handle with regard to her friends. So as an example, I'm going to paint a scenario for you. 22-year-old friends come around. Those that aren't married are looking to get married. I'm talking about your girlfriends. Yeah, I am.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Those that are married are on, that being married thing, right? They're going to complain about their kids and so on, right?
Uh-huh.
And you being able to see through the bullshit is going to piss you off. Yes or no? Simple yes or no.
A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit, really? Okay, so let me give you some advice where this is concerned, right? Let me give you some advice. Your rapid growth rate in terms of the absorption of stuff and what you've gone through have made you learn about the realities of life, yeah? And people who are living squarely in a matrix type format, okay? Their 4 walls is what they know, right? They can't see past that. So you could do one of 2 things. You could be like Andrew there, deriving a lot of amusement out of certain situations, because there's certain situations that you're going to derive amusement from when people can't see their own program. But remember, they're coming around you specifically for certain kind of validation which you no longer need.
Yes. Ugh.
Yeah, I feel you, my sister. I feel you, my sister. I get it. Right? And you just can't be bothered with the validation anymore. But you still have to live in society. So you're still gonna have to like deal with the emptiness, Judy. You know the emptiness that I'm talking about. That emptiness that says that you haven't actually seen the situation where you're in and you can't see out of it. Remember that you used to be there at 22.
Yeah.
This is what. So let that be a reminder. This is what could have happened if what happened to you didn't happen.
That actually makes perfect sense.
I got another little story about the guy that puts on everything. One night we told him we wouldn't cover for any of his stories because we were really, really tired of it. So he decided to bring a second vehicle to park at the bar to pretend that he was going to be his own twin and change clothes and try to take home two different women in the same night in the same bar with the same story. Oh boy. When we sold him, the level of salt that was directed towards him. Now I take honorable pleasure in this because I'm like, no, he's not his own twin. He's faking it. I actually said that to one of the girls, and they couldn't believe it for like a good 5 minutes until he comes out of the bathroom. But he's changed differently, so he's wearing half of the clothes from the first part of the date, and that half of the clothes that was for the second part of the date. It wasn't lined up anymore. Now, who has friends like that?
I do. Some old friends I still speak to now and then on games, and they're just still the same. And it's like, fucking hell. I have to like just switch off. I'm like, fuck it. I'm just gonna allow it and laugh.
Yeah. So, what will it take for you to have fun with friends like that without their toxic energy affecting you?
I can't intertwine with their outcome. Like I can't.
You can't empathize with them and be in their body.
I have to come to the neutral with them. I have to let them be them, because that's it.
Right. Your empathy skill will betray you. You will feel into their energy and it will lower you to their level.
I know.
So what's the opposite of not having empathy, David?
Or you could lead them. You could show them a different reality. Because you see, here's the problem. You became the yoga teacher, which means that you automatically took on a leadership role. You teach classes. So here's the funny thing about that. When you decide like to take on leadership roles, people immediately start looking to you for advice because you're outside the matrix. May I suggest that you exploit that? Because here's the thing. They're going to be coming to you, and that's what you're feeling, the energy drain.
That's why the hermit card has been coming out, though.
And that's
where you got to turn in your hermit's card.
Yeah.
And start doing that inner child work as well and go back, especially the age of 6 to 12, and start re-giving that child a childhood it never had and allowing that inner child to have fun through the week. Have a moment where you do on a schedule go, right, I'm going to be a child for this hour once a week and I'm just going to allow this playfulness to come out of me, just to start clearing out this hardness energy from within you. And we've got just a minute left, guys. Anything you want to add before we move on to Tom, the next call in? All okay? Brilliant. So thank you so much for coming on. Is there anything you'd like to say before you go, Judy? It's been an absolute honor, sister.
Yes, thank you so much for the opportunity to come on and share. I love listening to you guys. Andrew's work with me last year set off an amazing year for me. And it's kind of like what I think somebody said it earlier, where you just do it and then you start to see.
Right, just do it. And I can see you have done it and you look amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
Yes,
thank you, Judy. Take care.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Judy.
So we're now going to have Tom Taylor coming on. Hello, Tom.
Hello, mate. How's it going?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Thanks for having me on.
And thank you for coming on. So do you want to tell the listeners a bit about yourself and what brought you on to come on today?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we've known each other for a long time, and you know that I've been through some personal struggles over the past, well, decade pretty much, mentally, physically, emotionally, just completely burnt out and drained. And kind of felt like I was attracting. Funnily enough, it seemed to happen after I learnt Reiki, but I felt like I was just like attracting all of these challenges in quick succession, like they're all hitting within, you know, the space of a few years, just several things, and it's been like really overwhelming and hard to handle. So yeah, I mean, I've struggled with my mental health. I'm not going to lie. Over the years, with really bad depression and anxiety, and then got like chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, and all that. Everything thrown into the melting pot, and then and I had obviously Dale's been helping me through a lot of this, and I've come so far over the past couple of years. I had a session with Andrew, must have been 2 or 3 years ago now, and I was in a real dark place, and I feel like I'm so much lighter now, and I feel like I'm alive again, which is amazing considering where I was. But I've still got a long way to go. Obviously, everyone's always got a long way to go, and I'm just trying to find the right path, really. Again, I'm working with my music, which I've always done. I've always been passionate with music and creative, and so obviously I'm following my excitement that way, and that's healing in itself. And I've cut out all the toxic people in my life. But it's about, for me, I feel like I want to. I've come so far so quickly, but I'm impatient now. I'm like, I want to be climbing mountains, and I want to be, learning. I've got the hunger to learn and to evolve, and to just to learn, to go deeper into the spiritual journey. So yeah, that's pretty much where I am at the moment. That's why I'm here, I guess.
So I'm going to bring Nikki in. Is there anything you're picking up, Nikki, you want to share?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thank you for coming on. You've done a lot of work over the past, I'd say 6 years even, they're showing me in your timeline. While you still have a journey to go, you still have come so far. So you should just let's sit with that for just a moment, because you really have worked really hard. Now, what I think is really important for you is, as you go through these modalities and learn, you have to prioritize what's really important to you now. because you're not the same person you were even 5 minutes ago, right? So I think you got to reprioritize what's really important to you, what makes you happy, and then how you can implement that. Because I think you have this advocacy about, fairness in the world, right? And making things right for humanity. So it's almost like, don't give up, because you're getting there. It's just going to take a little longer than the average bear, and that's okay, because on the other side of it, you're going to be so knowledgeable and so at peace, and that is the end goal for you. So take your time, just look at what's right in front of you, and then try to decide what are your priorities. I think if you start with just that, you're on your way. Mm-hmm.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I kind of get. I'm a Piscean, so I just kind of drift along, and I've got all these things in my mind of what of what I want to learn and what I want to do, but then being of my personality, my being is always kind of the nature is to drift.
Well, being Piscean, as you said, being a Pisces, that's the only zodiac that doesn't have any vocal cords. So sometimes it's hard for you to express and say what you really feel because you're two fishies, right? So journaling and getting all that out of your head and onto paper is really going to help you as well, because Pisces are very expressive and hypersensitive to everything. So you feel everything, right? Yeah,
absolutely.
Just your nature. Mm-hmm. But writing it out is going to help you a lot.
Yeah, that's something I've not tried before.
Mm-hmm.
Should definitely try.
I think it'll be freeing for you, because you have so much in your head. It's just not going anywhere. It's just looping.
And it's interesting you say that, because as I'm looking in, it's like the C6 area of your spinal column. That part, as you said, that's the first thing I went to, was your C6 area in the throat area. Of a lot of times you've not been living in your authentic self. The spirit or soul's not been fully grounded to where it's meant to be. And it's about how can we allow yourself to come through, start speaking again, start talking again, and clearing out more, I'd say, detoxing the body even more and more, until you can start being here more and more. And the journey you've had, Tom, has been fucking incredible. Like, after that reading with Andrew, the effort and the dedication you put into yourself for 6 months of going to the hyperbaric chambers, the colonics, all of that. I'm not lying. I saw you a year later after that, and you looked fucking different. Like, you could see when I first saw you before the session, and the what you went through and the dedication you did, it was like you weren't there. But after you did all of that work, the effort of going to the hyperbarics, doing the colonics, doing the detoxes, I looked at you and I was like, holy shit, Tom. I was like, after that, I saw your face and I was like, holy fuck. Is there anything you want to add into here, Andrew?
It's amazing to see somebody do the work and the next level of them come through. What was the big thing the hyperbaric chambers really did for you?
I think it gave me. I mean, I was so foggy at the time, just so not with it, and so weak. I think it gave me a little bit of strength and just a bit more mental focus. They definitely helped me mentally and physically, no doubt. So yeah, I mean, I was doing them every day.
Right. They gave you enough clearing of the mind so you could sharpen your dull butter knives and start cutting your way out of this one person at a time, one subject at a time, until you crafted enough tools in your own reality through practice to begin to deal with things in little bites instead of always being overwhelmed with everything that was coming at you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah. Because that's one thing that I've just always been I've just felt overwhelmed. And I don't know if that's part of depression or if it's just a part of my psyche. I don't know, but I guess
it was the soup of you. That's all you have to really realize. It doesn't matter what and why, because you've gone past it now. You're not going to re-enter that entire thing that uncreated the wholeness of you. The depression, the karma, the this, the that, whatever it was, it just created a sour soup that wasn't working for you.
Yeah.
And then as you started doing the work and doing everything, that sour soup began to be much more normalized.
Yeah. Definitely.
David, is there anything you want to add about depression here, and any questions to Tom?
Well, there are two things that I want. Well, more than two things. Tom, part of the reason why you're experiencing brain fog and the fragmentation that comes with your thought patterns is because you're trying to fight. You're trying to fight. You feel like you're in the bottom of a hole and so on. I'm going to give you something which is counterintuitive to that. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
How about you don't have anything to do? There's nobody that you have to see. You don't have to move forward in life. You don't have to do anything. How about just for 10 minutes, you don't have to do FA? Okay? You don't have to fight anything, not even the depression. Don't even give that the second thought. Okay? Just lie down and just be. And I'll tell you why I say that. I'll tell you why I say that. Because the fight, after a period of time, a long standing period of time, it feels like you're pushing against something that's not moving. Okay?
Yeah.
The thing about it that I'm going to say to you is the thing that you're pushing against is really just yourself. It's not there. It's not there. The things that you're pushing against is not yourself. It's causing fragmentation inside your mind, right? And the fragmentation is giving you different priorities. Like this is a priority, that is a priority, that is not the priority. When you dispense with all that stuff that's going on upstairs in your head, and you say, you know what, I'm just going to lie here and not do anything. I'm going to be a total slob. I know it sounds counterintuitive. I'm just not going to do anything. It's when you're going to find pieces of yourself and make them stick. Okay? Stop fighting. It's making you tired. The fog in your head, everybody on this panel can feel it. Okay?
Yeah, but that's exactly what I've been doing is fighting to get through whatever it is, and maybe that's holding me back.
Okay, so I'm going to give you a whole, like a mini lesson in the psyche, okay? Mm-hmm. So the part of your mind that you're using to fight against it is not equipped to deal with the part of your mind that is causing the fragmentation. I will explain. So the part of you that you call Tom that has this oomph that I must fight against it is not going to help with the memories, the emotions, okay? All these body's unconscious processes which is causing the fragmentation in your head. Your pituitary, your pineal, and that your entire brainstem that you're massaging right now is too tight. It is too tight, right? That tightness that you feel in the back of your head and that confusion that you feel in your head, the back of your neck, and the confusion that you feel in your head. It is the result of your scalp tightening, specifically because you're fighting too much, okay? Tom is not going to win against subconscious Tom. It won't.
Okay.
It's not going to win, okay? It's going to make you spiral into frustration and depression. My suggestion to you, Tom, is you learn a little bit of stillness, because in the stillness you will find the real Tom, because what you're looking for is not necessarily strength. Strength presupposes that there is an enemy to defeat. There is no enemy to defeat. The enemy that you are trying to defeat does not have any friggin' power. It doesn't. But in your mind, it does. So if you listen to anything from David at all, it would be stop that fighting that you're doing. The oomph, it's your natural reaction to fight. My suggestion would be to shut down for a while and deprioritize all that stuff in your head. Deprioritize everything. You're not starving. I assume you're not starving, right?
I'm not. No, I enjoy my food.
Right. You're not starving. You're not in danger of dying tomorrow that you know of,
No.
right?
No.
Right. Let's bring it down to the essentials. All the other stuff in your head, time will tell. You will take them off in time.
Mm-hmm.
Bring it down to what is most essential. I'm okay. I'm okay now. Now I'm okay. So I would combine what I said with what Nicole just said. You have an organizational problem and you need to write it down, because if you're trying to process it in your head, that is part of your problem. Write it down. Your little capacitor up there is overloaded. I can see like smoke coming off of the sides of your head, out of your ears and everything else. Write it down. Today I'm going to do X, Y, Z, not more than 3 things. Kill that thing. Kill those 3 things. Take it out of the head. Throw it. Take a piece of paper. Burn it. Ceremoniously or otherwise. And then tomorrow, next 3 things. Put it up. Knock them down. Throw them out until that stuff starts to clear out of your head, bit by bit. Okay.
Yeah.
But for right now, stop trying to process against the mountain. Okay, Mohammed, move the mountain.
Well said. Well said. That's you guys have totally got me.
So I'm feeling like a lot of stress, Tom, especially your fascia and your teeth as well. There seems to be like just a disalignment there, and a lot, like David was saying, so much stress within the back and the spine. It'd be very important for you to get some deep tissue body work, especially your feet. Your feet are so hard at the moment. In order for you to feel relaxed, you'll need body work. You'll need someone to go into the fascia and the muscles and release them. I'm going to bring Laura in to talk about craniosacral, because I think craniosacral would really help you start unwinding and releasing more of this stress energy.
Okay.
Hi, Tom. Yeah,
Hiya.
I totally agree. I think that will just start to release everything all the way right down in the skeletal system as well. All the horizontal membranes all the way through your body, everything, the fascia, the tissue. If you could I'd have at least 3 sessions, and a lot more if you can. Have a talk to the craniosacral therapist, see what she advises. But certainly I will get on that table and get some hands on you, and some work on the sphenoid. Well, she'll do that. She will do all that, and I think that will help a lot, the tension that's in your neck. So obviously at the moment. So can I just ask something else as well, Tom? How did you come into spirituality? What was your journey into it?
I've always been interested in the unknown and the unseen since being a kid. Like I was saying to a friend of mine the other day, at primary school, I remember the library bus arriving, and I used to, every time it came, I used to get the same books on UFOs, ghosts, spirits, and so I've always had it in me. And then my granddad gave me a book on yoga once, and he's passed 10 years ago, over 10 years ago, but I always looked up to him as a teacher and a role model, and he always taught me about focusing your attention on a candle, and I guess that sparked my interest even more, and then a few years later I started having sleep problems, and then I researched remedies, and I found transcendental meditation, and so I got into meditation, and then started going to meditation groups, and that's where I met Dale, and then after a while Dale kept saying to me, "Oh, why don't you try this Reiki class that I'm doing?" And I wasn't really that interested in doing it, but I had a free weekend. I just thought, what the hell, let's do it. And I did it, and it blew me away. It completely blew me away. Yeah, my life has not been the same since. So I guess that was how I got into it all. But yes, I've always had that in my consciousness to explore. And I've always felt like a connection, even since being a young kid. Like I just had innate knowledge of certain things, and recognized faces that I felt like I've seen before. So yeah, I guess that's how I got into it all.
Okay, so as you've been going through those memories and watching your face change when you're recounting certain things that really did bring you joy, that I feel that you've lost maybe some connection to some of those things that brought you that joy, that brought you that passion, that brought you that spark. Because when you first started telling us about how you used to go and get the books,
Yeah,
and go, look, see, it's like, wow, yeah, I used to love that.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it would be really great to recapture some of what you had earlier in your journey, because what I found in my journey, when I've reached those low times, when I go back to what really did I want to do, what gave me joy in my spiritual journey, what really did it for me, what turned me on, what part of the mystical was really moving me, was really touching that inner place in me, that only I know what it is that does it for me, with great mystery and great spirit, or whatever it is that does that for you, that brings you that deep inner joy and that passion, is to retouch that again, if you can, that interest, that inquiring mind that you said you've got, that explorer part of you that wants to learn more. And when you start turning the key to that again, because you have been doing that, even if it means going over some things, because there's always new light to be shed on those things that you've looked at before. So going there again, and trying to also incorporate, if you can, I'm not sure what your prayer practice is like, but prayer is a great bringer of joy among other things. So regenerating that prayer practice too, to keep you really in touch with you again, and the inner you, and the being that started that journey all that time ago. Prayer will consolidate that for you.
yeah. Awesome.
Does
Yeah,
that resonate at all
yeah,
with you?
completely. Yeah, I've not really. I mean, I've always kind of been into visualization, but not so much prayer. So that is something that I should definitely get into a habit of doing.
Are you doing prayer classes, Laura, or prayer training?
I will be. Yes, I will be soon. But yeah, just finding some release for your voice, to a connection, whichever one you choose, whether it's your ancestors or trees, it doesn't matter. Whatever it is in the unseen that you feel connected to.
Yeah,
You can share everything from within, and that really does help you to find your voice.
yeah, that sounds great. It's just finding the connection, finding ways to connect. I think that's the important thing.
Well, prayer will do that for you. Prayer will provide all the avenues for you for that connection, because it's yours. It's your sacred time, your sacred space. It's just between you and whoever it is you want to share that with.
Yeah,
And I think that would also help you to rekindle rekindle some of that earlier joy as well, along with any of the passions that you had before that really gave you that happy feeling inside as, oh, I know why I'm on this journey. I know what I like to do.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you.
Pleasure.
Yeah, I guess it's just finding the inner child, the excitement, the excitable inner child, the free, excitable inner child.
Yeah, exactly that. Exactly that.
Can I bring something in here too for you, Tom?
Go ahead, Amy.
Yeah, go for it.
Because I love to bring in play, because play is what I'm about. I love to, I worked with children. I had children. So when you first came on, I did feel, the occipital in the back of your neck tight. And so what I'm hearing is like singing. You said you love music, and kind of like when I try to reintegrate, I just sing. It doesn't matter how well you sing, but even sing the scales, or see how high your voice can go, see how low your voice can go. I always feel my vocal cords, because that's kind of cool to feel, and I move them and it makes a different sound. So something fun like that. I
do love singing.
Oh, there you go. A different way though. How about opera? How about another way?
Opera would be fun, yeah.
Yeah, different, not what you usually do. Something, I don't know, country, opera, try it. And
you could be the next Pavarotti.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, I'll give it a go.
Yeah, just experiment. That's that's kind of what I do. Experiment and see.
That's a really good suggestion. I concur.
You concur?
Yeah, I like that idea.
Yeah. It just helps you ground. It just helps you get back into your body and get you back into, you're just you.
Yeah,
and
just
get some dance things or something.
Yeah, I do thoroughly enjoy being silly with my kids.
Yeah, that's it. They're right there. That's all you need.
Yeah, that's when I'm happiest, I think. Someone's just said, "Let's hear some, Tom."
Yeah, let's hear some, Tom.
What song do you want?
Whatever you want. Whatever you want.
Mustang Sally.
Keep going. Keep going.
Ready, slow that Mustang down.
Go a little higher, Tom. Go a little higher.
Mustang Sally.
That's it.
Why did you guys tell me you were going to do this? I could have brought out the DJ equipment. What the hell? Like how you? I got my setup and I'm not prepared.
Oh, next time. I love
that's what happens when you let the kids run the roost, David. I got to get going, guys, but real quick, I have a final request. I would like to hear Southern Belle and the Posh Lady for just 2 minutes. And I know I'm breaking a covenant of secrets.
You are.
We got to hear that, Laura.
You got to hear it. You got Posh Laura and Southern Amy.
I just need to remove my spiritual serious stick for a moment, which I've had all through the show. So apparently Amy tells me she also has a light body, so I found someone else out there with a light body who talks to them. Now, Amy, your light body is called Southern Belle Amy.
Southern Belle Amy. She's going to come out. Oh, yeah. She'll just come right on out here, and she's going to give it to you.
Oh,
She is going to give it to you, and she's going to teach you some lessons. Oh yeah, she's going to
I
teach
thought
you
we
some.
were on an equal co-creation, non-competition,
Oh,
non-hierarchical order
No,
show
we
here.
will. You have shown me now, honey. I have to pay it back. I gotta pay it back. Equal exchange. Equal exchange.
God damn.
Okay. Okay. What can I look forward to here then?
Oh yes, you can, honey. Just come on over and sit beside me. Come on,
Oh,
come on
okay.
over.
Okay, wait a minute. Here
Wonderful,
I am.
wonderful.
There we
Wonderful.
go.
I'm
Nikki,
vegan and I want
I
to
gotta
fight
ask you. I gotta ask you now. Hold on, real quick, Nikki. You can see in other realms. What's going on in their energy bodies when they're doing that? What do you see?
They're just happy. I mean, they take themselves back to their 5-year-old. No inhibitions, no work, no relationships, just pure love. Yeah.
Hey, guys, I'm vegan and I want some fried catfish all of a sudden.
Oh, honey, come on.
Well,
Come
David,
on
you'll
over
have to
for
make
dinner.
a carnivorous. David, you'll have to make a carnivorous version of yourself.
Oh,
I mean,
no. You know what?
Yes.
You know what? That ancestral stuff coming out. It might get out of hand.
No,
It might start biting people.
We're gonna do it.
Never
We're
wrong.
gonna
That goes
every
right.
show. Every show from now on, we're gonna ask David to do Carnivore David, Meat Eater David.
The roadmap back to carnivore, David's journey.
I wonder what I would look like, though. No, Tom, be a
Now,
good chef.
just wonder for a second, David. No, seriously, wonder for a second. What would it be like? Let your inner child out, David. Be the teacher and the receiver here. Ha ha ha.
I'm a version of myself. Well, I would probably need to get a bone to pierce my ear with, and my nose, like right through, like like this. All right, I would probably. It would have to get very ethnic in a very short space of time, right? Like I would have to be like taking out like dried bushes of meat. We're talking loincloths. We're talking like bone piercings, like everything.
It could just be a corporate you that's eats not reach for all foods.
Nah, like a corporate me that eating red meat without like. Don't cook it, just bring it out on a leash. You mean that kind of corporate meat? Just bring it out on a leash, thanks. Right? That's hilarious.
All right, guys, I gotta go. It's been great playing and having fun with you guys. You guys are awesome.
Thanks, Andrew. See you later. Poor Tom, you're looking a little bit confused there.
What the hell is going on? What is wrong with these people?
We had a Soul Shard show the other day, and we were talking about light bodies. And recently, I've been reading Andrew's Revocations in another voice because it's something he recommends to raise the frequency. And that's the one I settled on was Posh Laura. So Posh Laura's been very pleased. She's got the stage. She's another light body. So she's been very keen to have the stage quite often recently. And part of my last prayer show, she came forward as well. And then Amy messaged me and she said, I'd love Posh Laura to meet Southern Belle Amy. And then I told Andrew, it's always a mistake telling Andrew.
Wow, incredible. So we've got a few minutes left for Tom. Has anybody got any advice before we say goodbye to him?
Just, I think, rekindle some of that joy that you found earlier, Tom. Just as without doing any sort of work at all, as David was saying.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and stop.
And sing, as Amy said.
Sing.
Yeah.
It opens up the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, just from doing that funny noise there now, I feel lighter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Already.
Yeah, would find a different voice if you don't want to, or instead of singing, or as well as singing, read something with a different voice, because that is such fun to do.
It is.
That really is. Brings up another aspect of you.
And the more you're in that joy, and the more you're in that joy as well. So your C6s kind of bent and it's a bit disalignment from the throat area. And this is from a past self with when you were going through the illness and what you went through is still kind of like replaying in your reality a little bit. And this is why the advice here is so fucking important for you to have fun and start solidifying this new Tom. Start solidifying this new Tom with experience, with love, being in the body, being in the spinal column again, because that disillusion now is slowly fading away. But it's about now, the more effort, the time, the dedication you put into it, the funness you put into it. Prayer is going to be very important to you. Start saying prayers to be present in the body, here in the now, because the guy I saw before when you were ill, it was scary. I was quite sad when I saw you because it looked you were gone. And to the guy you are today, it's fucking beautiful, incredible, and my hat goes off to you, brother, and we love you, and continuing on this special journey of dedication to see what healing work can do.
Thank you, mate. Yeah, I appreciate everything you've helped me with so much, and yeah, just never give up. That's the attitude. Yeah.
The shaman's journey, brother.
Yeah. And I don't know why, but let your kids, I don't know why this is coming to me, but let them paint your face. Paint a different face on you. Like I let my kids, they could paint. I let them just do whatever because it didn't, paint it on, then look in the mirror and see what Tom comes out of having your face painted by them, by your kids. So that energy from them is.
I have actually got some face paints, and I've got them tomorrow night as well. So, I think,
awesome.
Dance, brother.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Yeah,
Kindle that joy.
I suppose the last thing I would have to say is don't give energy to this stuff. There's laughter to be had, and just think that you have. I don't know in terms of the time of the amount of time you have left on this earth, but you don't want to spend it. We laugh at everything. Unfortunately, most of the things we laugh at are inappropriate stuff.
A lot of phalluses, David.
Yes. Phallus jokes. Hilarious.
Thank you so much for coming on, Tom. It's been a pleasure. Thank you
so much, guys. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, bro.
Take care.
Right, so we have the last caller in. We have Bob. Hello, Bob.
Hello, mate.
Hey, Bob.
How are you
doing?
doing?
Hello, everybody.
Bob.
Hello.
Does anyone see face paint? Can anyone see that photo there?
Oh,
yeah.
Yes, I see it. I see it.
Yes, yeah.
So that's where face paint gets you.
Yes. So welcome to the show, Bob. So what made you want to come and join us on this show with the invitation? How are we doing? And can you tell the listeners a bit about yourself?
Yes, so I've done a few courses with you, Dale. I've been on this spiritual path knowingly about 3-4 years. I've been on it all my life, but just unknowingly. Just certain depressions I've had in my 20s, which I had to deal with due to drugs, work related, where obviously I was failures in work. I'd do an apprenticeship and I'd put all my efforts in, and then it just something would go wrong. And it was like a bit of a journey for me. Only life where I had my own business that I decided that you can't rely on anybody. And that was my thing with the depressions and that. I think it was a fact with the work thing. I wanted my own business so I didn't have to rely on anybody, and that was the first key thing for me in my kind of awakening about being alive to the world. I'd say I was quite closed off before then. I was always trying, but not trying in the right way. And so obviously, I've been on this spiritual journey knowingly about 3 years. Done the psychic surgery courses, done the Reiki. Just my spiritual journey myself. I'm quite happy. I'd say I've come quite a way, really. I say my 5D body was so advanced in a way. My 3D body needed to catch up. and that's just catching up now, and it's getting into a little bit of a balance. I did a course with Andrew, did the mentorship. That was amazing. That brought me on so much with certain things I could do maybe. And that's just, I haven't even touched the surface on that. I'm just playing about with certain things. And yes, I don't know what else to really say about. I'll answer some questions. How was that? No?
So, David, go ahead.
How did the schism between your 5D body and your 3D body create problems in your life? Very interesting thing you just said.
So my spiritual awakening, it was quite powerful. Let's say it overwhelmed me. I did a lot of work. Dale did a lot of work with me in my earlier, say, awakening, and it was during lockdown, so it was perfect time for me where I was doing a lot of journaling, a lot of work behind the scenes. It was just really good timing for that. So the 5D body, my chakras, obviously it's more the chakra work, or my 3D body, meaning my physical body, and my 3D world. I couldn't connect my 5D, what I was learning, all this new stuff, which was really new to me, and it blew me away, and I couldn't interpret into my 3D world. And my 3D world was quite busy. I had lots of friends, big party life, everything. It was, but obviously I had a lot of traumas in there and all, and it wasn't right. And this is why it happened and all. There was things I wasn't dealing with myself. I wasn't dealing myself personally. I was holding things in, a lot of anger, a lot of stuff where I would just bottle it up and then just explode. And so I suppose my journey started during my divorce with my wife, my ex-wife, and that I started from there, and then I got in touch with certain people that were probably good for me at the time, but I had to go through that kind of all in a journey, you see. So you meet these people and they're there for a purpose, to serve a purpose, good, bad, neutral. And that's kind of what I've gone through and all in the last 3 years, 4 years. And now I've come to a point where I see the lessons, I see the blessings, and I see the lessons in everything if I can. I don't attach to these emotions as much. So these negative emotions I have worked on where I can, I see myself as a third person, and then I work with that and see why that's there. So I've come a long way in that respect where I don't connect to my programs as much, my parasympathetic and the programs that's been installed in me. I've still got loads of work to do. I know that, like everyone, it's never ending. It's just a beautiful journey we go on. It's full of hard work, and that's what. And once you've done some of the hard work, the appreciation after that, that's a good thing. So it all entangles itself. I'd say karmic entanglement. I've just worked recently on a lot of energy coming into me, where I've been able to separate it with certain things and certain people, and be able to put blocks on and work on that and push it out and decide reason why it's happening and stuff like that. So that, in the way that I've come a long way in the way I don't hold on to energy. I'm quite strong in the way that I keep my bubbles and my power and my protection very good. Before I was quite empathic, where everything was just absorbed and you'd feel everybody. Now I can go out anywhere really, and it doesn't bother me.
Bob, as I'm reading you and I'm reading your Aurora Borealis energy, the grandmother energy as well. There seems to be a detachment in you, and there seems to be a detachment from your own reality and your own story. And one of the great things you could do personally is, again, talking to the fire would be very incredible for you, because I think you'd understand there's a lot of stuff going in the past you're not aware of, you're not being responsible for this moment. We all have this. So I'd highly recommend is have a ritual where you're telling your story to the first memories of a child, to here, to the now, and start unlocking this and where this detachment has come from, because I feel like it is a program of detaching reality, and it's something I've had a lot of it before. So I think for you, unlocking your story, hearing your story is going to be vitally important for you to make some different changes in your reality.
Right.
And with
Right.
such
So
a
what's this
fast-
from, like childhood? Sorry, Laura. Is this like
No.
childhood memories, or we're talking?
It was a detachment
Yeah,
from the
it's
age
like-
of 7, and it was ancestral karma from your mother's side. So it's basically ancestral karma just passed down, where the ancestors detached from who they were, where it was just they kind of, yeah, I'm fine all the time, I'm doing this, yeah, everything's dandy.
Yeah.
So that program was created in you at the age of 7, and it's still relaying to you as you're speaking. There's still a side of you which is detaching from the core reality of your story. And I feel going and getting like psychotherapy, or getting someone to go back into the story of who you are and start relaying it, hearing it, owning it, and not detaching from it again. And it's just an ancestral karmic process going on.
That's really interesting. That really interesting.
And with such a high elevated journey, Bob, what do you do to keep yourself grounded?
Do float tanks with Dale. I do hyperbaric chambers. I went for a walk today, which was amazing. First time I've done it in a long time, and I should do more of it, because I'm very earthy. So usually I would spend a part of the week in my schedule just to go on walks. Just barefoot on the grass. Simple, just the basics. If I'm in my garden, especially in summertime, I feel more grounded anyway, because I'll just be barefooted. Even in my caravan site where I've got a caravan, I'll just walk around with my bare feet, and it's such a grounding thing for me. So
And
I'd say in
also
summertime I'm more grounded than winter.
If I could jump in here, when we're little, they put these rubber soles on our feet and disconnect us from Mother Earth, to protect our feet, but it really doesn't protect us, But your energy is of giving yourself now a permission slip to move on. Because the trauma that was brought up from the divorce really showed you what you want, what you don't want, what you're going to tolerate, what you're not going to tolerate. And those aspects of yourself you didn't like, now you could say, oh, I don't like that. I don't want that. That doesn't feel right to me. And you can move forward. And you constantly sitting on Mother Earth or grounding with Mother Earth is going to help you have that clarity so much faster. So you're in the phase of, I give myself permission to do this now, and it's on my terms. That's where your energy is now. And it's beautiful because you've come so far from just the past 3-4 years.
I do a lot of breath work. I do a lot of breath work. So
yeah, because you could feel it in your body. You could feel when something is yours and when it isn't through that breath work.
Yeah, that's probably the best thing I've ever really done in my life, which Dale showed me, and then we've carried on just with the Wim Hof and other techniques. Is breath work. That is the one
free.
Free in my body.
So you could do that anywhere, and it doesn't cost anything, and it's the most validating life force that you can feel, other than your blood going through your veins, is that breath.
Yes. And so just a quick thing on that, what I do on my breath work, I can get up to I have done with the hyperbaric chambers, which I've been doing. I've been able to increase my capacity, but I've been able to go into layers with the breath work. So I will start on a layer of energy body around me, then I'll go on to tingles in the body, then I'll go into the blood of the body, then I'll go into the physical part of the body. And by that time I can get up to about 4 or 5 minutes. So it's doing it in layers. It's just helped me. But I wonder if that's given me certain different veils of my own self. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's like peeling back those layers of the onion. And that chamber is exposing all those layers, whether you're ready to handle them or not. They're there. So you're seeing them. Now they're in your awareness that they're part of your responsibility. So, yeah.
And Bob, I was going to say, slowing the rate of that information that you're getting, the downloads that you said you get, you know, with your 5D stuff coming in. Do some sort of heart connection, because when you're doing that with the heart connection, it slows down everything so that the mind is not racing ahead. So you're incorporating your body, and then I think, as you said, you unpack it and then you detach from it. I think that's basically, isn't it, what you were saying? So I was just going to suggest working with your heart and your whole body slows down the rate of information that's coming at you. Sometimes it can be an overload for you, can't it? It can be a real, not necessarily an overwhelm, but maybe it feels like that. But as soon as you do that heart connection and that grounded connection, that will slow that down. Because for me, ultimately, at the end of the day, you're not trying to get up there to 5D. You're trying to incorporate that, the celestial mind, or whatever you want, the path of the celestial medium. You're trying to unpack that and ground it, which is why I was asking you about grounding earlier. Because it's wonderful doing that work. But it's all about, we're living on Earth now and grounding it here now, which I'm sure you know. But remembering to do that heart connection actually grounds and makes all that work meaningful. It means you're not living up there and ungrounded.
Yeah, that makes sense, that, Laura. I do try and do that advanced dark meditation quite a lot, because that does.
Lovely. Yeah.
That's quite good, because that does put you back into your heart space, your body. You see all the nerve endings and that, and try and visualize them things. So I do that quite a lot. I actually integrate that into my directions, into my inner one, my I am presence. So I do that.
It would be very a good idea to start doing kind of like solidification prayer, where you're allowing yourself to pray into the moment of the now, slow down everything, slow down yourself, and simply start praying to the now and start solidifying the now moment more and more, just to slow yourself down, because that 5D, your spiritual body has advanced, has gone on so many different journeys. It's about you now, the 3D person who has to solidify it into this reality, start telling your story and start hearing your story of the past, start listening to your story from the past slowly. Tell yourself, I now slow down in this moment so I can express myself here in the now without trying to go off and detach from my true personality. And once you start doing that more and more, your I amness is going to be here anchored. You're going to be able to slow down and allow yourself to go into that nice state of here in this moment, and so on. And you're an incredible person, man. Like, it's great to know you, and you've got so much genius behind you.
I was going to just put a point across. It seems that he's trying to teleport himself from one place to another and integrate.
Yeah.
So here's the problem with the teleportation process. You got to put boundaries in place, because I'm sure that you're trying right now on your journey right now, which I'm going to bring a different dimension in. There are things that are trying to derail you. Yes or no?
Yes.
You have boundaries in place for that?
I try to have boundaries in place that work. And when things come in, they're there for a reason, so I work on them. But yes, I do put boundaries. I try to anyway, David. I don't know if it works all the time, but then it's all about learning. It's just learning anyway. It's just, obviously I have mentors who help me out. Like, we all need mentors, and then some of the work we have to do ourselves, don't we? So it's just, it's part of the process, isn't it, really? Am I right, Ron?
It is a process. The only reason why I pointed this out to you is because you are trying at this point in time to integrate you're trying to integrate a self that where you want to be into the self that you are now. So let's say this is you here, and this is who you the supreme Bob, okay? And so you're trying to get them to integrate, right? Right. But here's the issue. And it's not an issue. It's actually a good thing. In between this process here, there's going to be stuff in between here that's going to try to move you off like this. Like if you, I'm not in the camera, right? It's like this, trying to move you off the schism. And so I only pointed out to you because it's happened to every one of us. Don't tell me you guys have not. Have not experienced this, because you'd be lying, all of you. I could just see it in your face, right? So each one of you would have experienced this. So I'm just going to say to you that the boundaries that are going to come at you, the things that are going to try to derail you, are going to be things that you should theoretically care about. Even your own business is going to try to derail you every once in a while, okay? It's going to try to suck up time. And you have to understand that these things happened 9 times out of 10 because I suppose the universe is the universe's special humor of trying to figure out whether you really want this thing. So that's just the advice I'm going to give you. I guess that's my spiel on that topic.
Beautifully put, David, and that corresponds to what we were saying, is just allowing yourself to slow down instead of processing all the time. It's like the computer which is overworking. How can you allow yourself to slow down here and the now? And has someone got, Bob, would you be able to mute while I talk? I think it might be your mic where I'm just getting a lot of feedback, for an echo from someone. So yeah, continuing on, in prayer would be vitally important for you to start creating prayer, writing down prayer, and just allow yourself just to go into a flow state and accepting this moment of the now. Amy, is there anything you want to add on to this as well?
Yeah, the only thing that came to me earlier, and I kind of jotted it down, you said something about you have all this stuff coming in from the mentorship, from all this information coming in, and you just scratch the surface, is what I heard. And what stops you from going deeper into that surface? Because, I mean, I did that too. The mentorship there was a lot there. And so it felt like when you bring it in, there's just something I see underneath the surface. Like, what will help you get underneath the surface to scratch more into it and see the stuff that you learned from the mentorship to go deeper? Yeah.
I need some more answers. I maybe need to speak to Andrew. I think I've got to have a session with Andrew. I think I need to speak to him I'm stuck in a way where I know I've got potential for certain things.
Go ahead, Bob. I can hear
you. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes, can hear you.
Hear me?
Yeah.
Sorry, Amy. I could just do some more answers. I'm kind of stuck in. I've got so many ideas of what I want to do. In regards to like a healing center, float tanks. I like to do hyperbaric chambers. I like these EES systems, which are in America now, which work on scalar waves, frequency. I'm really interested in all this technology that's out there now to cure cancers and stuff. And I'd like to bring it where I live and set something up, which would be amazing, and just build something around here. And obviously integrate what maybe I can do in the psychic surgery and just progress my skills. And that's where I'm stuck. I've got a few ideas of which have come to me recently of how I can integrate that, but I just need some more guidance, I think.
What if everything that you talked about that you want, but what if you have to do what is underneath that surface first to get to that space that you want?
Yes.
You know, sometimes we go ahead of ourselves. Sometimes you go ahead of yourself and forget that, oh, I need to look at this first and scratch way underneath the surface.
Yes, absolutely.
That's just something.
I have
like that.
set. I've got to do more work in my other business and set that up properly so that can in turn do something. I've got some work to do.
Because when people,
But the good thing is, sorry, Laura, this just the good thing was that I've been stuck because I did all this spiritual work there, and I was gonna be a Reiki master. I was gonna do this psychic surgery, but obviously, I'm not educated enough. I'm not experienced enough, and you can't really have a business. It's really hard to set a business up to do that. And this is what my path was. It was really upsetting me, or it was giving me a bit of anxiety, because I was thinking, well, I've got a perfectly good business as a heating engineer, but I'm really spiritual now, and I couldn't connect them both together. And now I've kind of just recently thought, right, why can't I integrate them both? I'll make this big, try hard for that, and that will in turn do something with this, what I want to do. Yes. So that's kind of what you're on about, the under the surface.
Yeah, like trying to talk to them. Yeah, just kind of like look underneath there and see what's there, and talk to both sides of that you want, and what can they do together? What is it? What's the one common denominator that's got to happen?
Incredible, Amy. That's great. Really, really great. It's so, David, for slowing down, what would you recommend for Bob being able to slow down and slow his processing down? What would you recommend for him?
You remember that hunger that I spoke about at the beginning of the show? He has it. He has it. And so what I could tell you is that well, this is what I'm going to pick up. I'm going to just be upfront with you. Part of you is thinking or doing the things like you think of the wasted time, and so you try to catch up. You try to teleport yourself. The reason why you've come this far, and the reason why you have a schism between the business that you have now and transitioning into the business that you want to be, the integration that I spoke about, is because just because something is, I want to take you off two fallacies that you have going on there. The old business is the foundation. The discipline that you learned in that business is the foundation, okay? It is not a tire around your neck. It is the foundation, okay? The new business that you would like to create is not inherently exclusive of the old business that you're trying to create, okay? They're not the same. They probably can't be integrated, but one can absolutely help you in the other if you allow it to happen. So as an example, in terms of slowing down, which was the original question, I would do this step by step, okay? You don't have to be a Reiki master right now. You're among people, you're in a community of people that could actually point you in the right direction. You don't have to be a Reiki master right now. You just have to start putting things in place to make that transition tenable. You can't make that transition fast. So what that looks like on paper, just so that we're clear, is number one and first and foremost, you're going to probably try to put yourself in a position where you have your own office, your own venue. Okay? What does that look like? Are you going to build something? Are you going to buy something? Or are you going to rent something?
No, probably rent somewhere, David. Yes. So start with renting.
Okay. So you start with renting. Sorry, I straddle both of these worlds, the business and the thing. So I give people business advice. I'm going to give you some business advice, right? So based on what you're doing right now, which is the heating engineer, how much of your time is taken up doing heating engineer work in an average week? Is it?
I would say 4 days of the week.
So 4 days of the week. Is doing spiritual work taxing to you?
No, I can integrate some spiritual work into that week with that.
Okay. So now you have something to start with. You don't actually need an office right now. What you need is practice.
Yes.
What you need is practice. And so when you get the practice and you intern yourself in such a way, it is in your best interest to create more income from the business that you have now. So concentrate on it and let your spiritual work be your guide and your motivator for you to make that business successful. You feel me, my man?
Yes, man. Yes, I like that.
Right?
Yes.
Let it integrate. When you're ready to make that transition, you don't, they're not mutually exclusive. One feeds the other. Like I have a business, Nicole and I have a business, and you know what? It feeds our other issues. Like it feeds our other business. So you understand what I'm saying? You have one thing feeds the other thing, but they're not mutually exclusive. So you're Bob, the heating guy, but you're more than just a heating guy now. But get the practice first of all. That's the slowdown. When you get the practice, you're going to be known as the heating guy who does this. Both of these businesses will feed each other. Let me show you how. I come to you for Reiki, right? I'm like, you do heating, right? I'm like, I'm going to trust you to do my heating, right? Let me tell you something about spiritual people or people with any kind of spiritual outlook. They will trust other spiritual people to do their work for them. There's a lot more of them in England than you think. Trust me when I tell you that. I went to school where you live, okay? I went to school there, and I'm telling you, there are a lot of them around the place. Because of your demeanor and the practice that you get in the spiritual work, your aura as a businessman is going to change. It's going to make you a more trustworthy person to do business with. I am telling you this as a matter of personal experience. Your aura as a business person is going to make you more trustworthy, right? So you get heating clients off of your Reiki and healing business, right? And you get healing clients off of your heating business. Do you feel me?
Yes, yes.
Of the cards. Make them integrate that way. It's not going to take as long as you think, because I feel the rush in your mind. That is why I tell you you're trying to teleport yourself, right? One day at a time. Get the practice. You've already spent money on the work. And I'm going to talk to you as a businessman, one businessman to one businessman, okay? Let me talk to you in a business terms. You spent a lot of money learning a bunch of stuff. You got to make that pay off itself. I don't know how much you spent, but you're going to make it pay off. You want to know why you're going to make it pay off? Because you're going to practice. It doesn't matter if when I first started doing any kind of work, which is in the healing spectrum, I don't know about the rest of y'all, but we were charging nothing, correct? I'm ashamed to say I'm not going to put that out there. Forget it. I'm not strong enough, right? But anyway, the fact of the matter, we did it because we needed to get practice, and so stepping stone after stepping stone after stepping stone. Okay, right? If you speak to Andrew, ask him how much he was charging when he first started. I'm laughing at these things, right? I'm laughing at all of these things because I pretty much have an idea what you guys. But my point is that eventually it pays off. So my suggestion to you is one step at a time, my brother. One step at a time.
I feel more connected now anyway, just why I'm integrating both the businesses, or I've got that idea to do it. So it's balanced me. It's just kind of, it's calmed me down a little bit. So I think this will work.
Yeah, well, just remember, you create balance. You don't find it. You have to create it. So slowing yourself down and creating and co-creating with your future self is going to help you make the bridge between the two businesses. And then you'll start to get referrals, like David said. It'll just go hand in hand. That lady will be like, oh, he's nice and he does energy work, or vice versa, whatever. Mm-hmm.
The man of many Bobs.
Bob doing Bob
Yes.
things. I'm
Bob's
Bob
doing Bob things,
Bob.
yes. So thank you so much for coming on, Bob. I really appreciate you, brother. It's been incredible to have you on. So we're going to go around and we're just going to wrap up the show. So we're going to start with Nikki. How can people get a hold of you for sessions?
Absolutely. Everybody can get a hold of me on UCM Networks. And I also have my own website, solutionsforyourself.com. So I have some deals going on right now. So definitely look me up, and I look forward to connecting with you all.
Thank you for coming on. And Amy, how can people get a hold of you, sister? And
Well, soon you'll be able to get a hold of me on the Talking Stick Show. So I'll be a regular. And Patty, Lucia, and I will be announcing our little reveal podcast next week. So you'll see us then.
so Amy will be a permanent co-host once every 2 weeks for Talking Stick Show. So she's an honor to have you on, sister.
Yeah, thank you so much. It is an honor.
Thank you. And David Ellis, how can people get a hold of you for the many magical things you do?
First of all, I don't think I could wait until next week for that reveal. So I'm calling you directly after this podcast. We have a lot of things going on, guys. We are starting back UCM as a talk show, like it is coming with a talk show. We're coming with a talk show. We're all going to be collaborating with one another because we like each other, because we're kind of cool, right? And so we're going to be having a talk show that will be Nicole DiCroce and myself. The stuff is out there. We're going to be dealing with issues concerning health, wellness, and that kind of stuff. And spirituality, of course. Other than that, we'll be coming at you with a whole bunch of exciting stuff because, we like to teleport ourselves like Bob. Bob, I'm talking about. Laura, I suppose I'll pass that on to you.
Yeah, Bob, thank you for coming on and being such fun, and Amy for being a great co-host. Look forward to you coming in the future, and lovely to have Nikki and David on again. And thank you, Dale. I'm on twofeathersmedicine.com. I do one-to-one sessions, private sessions. I also do craniosacral therapy, and I'm an ancestral medium. So if you want to contact me and we'll go to the sacred celestial fire and talk to your ancestors, then do. And as Dale mentioned earlier, soon, yes, there'll be a prayer product that will help you find your voice for prayers, which I've had to do a lot recently. So thank you also, Southern Belle Amy, for coming on. It's a great teaching, actually, for a lot of people. And this has been an amazing show, Dale, and I think it's something we ought to do regularly. And it's lovely to have this community forming and finding people from different countries and coming on the universal internet and sharing. So thank you so much.
Incredible. Thank you, Laura. And if anybody would like to learn psychic surgery or have a psychic surgery session myself, head over to daletobin.com. So I train psychic surgery, soul retrieval. So if you want to learn the mastership of energy healing, reading energy, reading the system, go on to daletobin.com, book in for a session, see how you feel. And yeah, I just want to say thank you. I'm honoured. We're going to be having the 100th Talking Stick show in a few weeks' time. So we're going to have a big party for that. And the effort and the discipline and the shaman's journey to continue on to the unknown with the great spirit within our heart. Thank you so much, everyone. You're wonderful people.
Thank you, everyone.
Good night, good morning,
Good night.
good afternoon.